what people, aspire to when they go to America. There's another kind of American dream, which is that it sometimes feels as if America is dreaming about the rest of the world. And you look at how Pakistan appears in some of the US media and American discourse, and it very often has very little connection to what life here actually feels like, at least to me. So there is this quote and pull and also this illusion at the same time. And the last thing I'd say about this is, and this is not meant to be insult or critique, I think to a certain extent the idea of the American dream is getting to be less and less important, because other places are becoming more and more important. And America in the 20th century, from 1930 when this quote originated, this idea, until quite recently was this dominant force all over the world. But other places are becoming increasingly independent, and they're growing, they're becoming their own thing. There's multiple poles, and there's Brazil and China and India, even Pakistan. And so in a way, I think discussing the American dream in Pakistan today is to speak about something which is interesting, but definitely not the be-all, end-all, or as important as maybe it was 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, there are many ways you can look at the American dream. One is the notion of getting extremely rich, being extremely successful, but then there's another more modest idea which would be about simply just having enough small house and education for your children and just getting by. Yeah. And it strikes me as extraordinary that America appropriated this fairly ordinary ambition which everybody in the world seems to have. Yeah. I mean, Martin Luther King talks about "I have a dream." That was a direct reference to the American dream. Equally, Mao said, "To get rich is glorious." So even in Chinese Communist society, the idea of getting wealthy an aspiration. So it doesn't only belong to America, right?
Yeah, it doesn't only belong to America. And I think if you think of one of the most common conversations I have with my friends in Pakistan is, should we leave? And I think that's a conversation that many Pakistanis have internally or explicitly. And the other day my cable television service broke down, and the repairman came and fixed the cable television. And we're talking, and he was saying how he actually wanted to leave and go to Dubai. And so I think that in much of the world, this basic idea of having a decent life, that you work reasonably hard, you can support yourself, you can sort of get ahead, that feels almost out of reach. And whether you call that the American dream or something else, it is really a human aspiration. And here in Pakistan, it's being very substantially, unmet. And I think the one thing which is perhaps changing is, although Pakistanis realize that in Pakistan this dream is not being met, I think people are also beginning to realize that perhaps in America it's not being met either. Right? That there may not be an American dream in America anymore, or it might be less than it was.
I think we'll come back to the Pakistani situation when we talk about the Muslims in a moment. But Tanya, I just want to turn to you as a woman of Indian